Good morning, students, and welcome to another online physical. So here I am going to discuss about Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory was the first complete attempt to describe all matter in terms of atoms and their properties. John Dalton, a British school teacher, published his theory about atoms in 1808. His findings were based on experiments and the laws of chemical combination. All matter consists of indivisible particles called atoms. Atoms of the same element are similar in shape and mass, but differ from the atoms of other elements. So this is the basic of Dalton's atomic theory. According to him, atoms of same element, they are all similar in shape and mass, but differ from the atoms of other elements. I am giving you one example. Suppose atoms of hydrogen are similar in shape and mass, but it differs from atoms of oxygen because here element differs. One is hydrogen and another element is oxygen. Hope so you have understood. Now, postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Remember this, the 5 points I'm going to discuss. In fact, it is in your book also. You can see from your book. These are the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. If the question will come that write down the Dalton's atomic theory, then you will not write it. You will write the Dalton's atomic theory that I am going to discuss. But if the question will come, discuss the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory, then he will mention this. So first is all matter is comprised of tiny definite particles called atoms. Tiny means very small. Second one, atoms are indivisible and indestructible. Means you cannot destroy atoms and you cannot divide atoms according to Dalton. Next one, all atoms of a particular element share identical properties including weight. Already it has been discussed just now. Next one, atoms of different elements contain different mass. And next one I have not written, this is from your book, atoms of same element contain same mass. Hope so you have understood. These are the 5 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Now see the diagram. John Dalton's pictures is there. Along with this water molecule, formula of water molecule is H2O. That means 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, and hydrogen peroxide written in the picture as second compound. So formula of hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. One thing I should mention, in your copy you maintain a page, rather first page or any other page, you'll maintain like this, where in the left column you will write down the element or compound name, and in the right column you will write down the formula or symbol. Whenever you will get a new symbol or new formula, you will write it down, because physical science means you have to know the different formulae or the different symbols of elements or compounds. So according to Dalton's atomic theory, The atoms of different elements combine in a simple ratio of integers to form a molecule of a compound. This is actually Dalton's atomic theory. Here where he has said the atoms of different elements combine in a simple ratio of integers. Integers means you can say whole number over here. When the two elements will combine to form a compound, it will combine with an integer, not in a fraction. Okay, that means one hydrogen plus one oxygen. It's not like that half of the hydrogen combines with half of oxygen. It's not like that. That's why he has mentioned integers to form a molecule of a compound. Now merits and demerits. Merits or benefits, you can say, one of the most important merits of Dalton's atomic theory is the fact that the theory doesn't violate several fundamental laws of chemical combination, such as the law of definite proportions, the law of multiple proportions, and the law of conservation of mass. Another important merit of Dalton's atomic theory is that it provided a basis for scientists to differentiate between elements and compounds, because this is the first idea given by John Dalton about this atom concept. There are some drawbacks also in this theory. So first one is Dalton said that atoms are indivisible, but we know that atoms can be further divided into still smaller particles called electrons, protons, and neutrons. Don't worry, I'm going to discuss this in my next slide or in Zoom class. Next one, he again said that atoms of an element have exactly the same mass, but they can have slight difference. In actual case, they can have some slight difference. And the last one, or last drawback is, he also said that atoms of different elements have different mass, but some atoms of different elements have the same mass. So these drawbacks actually is the benefit for us, because the other scientists or next scientists have converted this into benefits. They have modified this theory for us. So this is actually the benefit for us. Atoms and molecules. Both words are very well known to you. Now I am going to discuss actually what are the differences between them. An atom is a particle of matter that uniquely defines a chemical element. An atom consists of a central nucleus that is usually surrounded by one or more electrons. Please see the diagram. You can see at the center there is a nucleus portion where actually proton and neutrons are there. Protons are positively charged, green color here, and neutrons are neutral. That means no charge. It doesn't have any charge. So blue color one is, or sky color one is neutron. Now around the nucleus there are some orbits, circular orbits, through which electrons are rotating. You can see electrons are negatively charged, yellow color you can see. The nucleus is positively charged and contains one or more relatively heavy particles known as protons and neutrons. And around the nucleus, electrons are rotating through orbits. In an atom, the total number of positive charge is equal to total number of negative charge. Then only one atom can be neutral. That means number of proton is equal to number of electron generally in one atom. But if number of protons will increase, that means it will form cation, C-A-T-I-O-N, cation. And if number of electron will increase, it will form anion, A-N-I-O-N. Don't worry, you just try to understand this. I have given you everything, the picture and the voice also I'm giving for you. But in Zoom class, I tell this again and again. So next one is molecule. A molecule is defined as two or more atoms of the same element, different element that are bound together. A molecule may be homonuclear, that means same type of nucleus, which means it consists of atoms of one chemical element as with oxygen. Or it may be heteronuclear, a chemical compound composed of more than one element as with water H2O. Homo means same and hetero means different. When we are talking about, now see the picture, first oxygen molecule. So obviously oxygen molecule contains two oxygen atom. That means two oxygen atom means just same. So this is called homonuclear. In case of O3, that is ozone, here also three oxygen atom, same atom present within a molecule. That means these are also homonuclear. But when we talk about H2O, water molecule, then it is heteronuclear. Why? Because hydrogen, two hydrogen and one oxygen atom is there. So hydrogen and oxygens are different from each other. So that means it is heteronuclear. Now, in your book, it has been given what are the differences between atom and molecule. So, an atom is the smallest particle of an element. A molecule is the smallest particle of an element or compound. That means atom is the smallest particle of element, but molecule is the smallest particle of either element like oxygen, ozone like this, or compound like H2O, hydrogen peroxide, H2O2 like this. Third point, except some of noble gas, other atoms are highly reactive. Atoms are always highly reactive. Reactive means they actually participate in chemical reaction. And in case of molecules, molecules are less reactive. First, actually, atoms take part in reaction, then then molecules come. And the fourth point, atom does not have a chemical bond, but atoms in a molecule are held by chemical bond. That means in an oxygen molecule, two oxygen atoms are there, no chemical bonding. But in case of hydrogen, two hydrogen atoms are combined with one oxygen atom by a chemical bond. This chemical bond terminology I have used. Actually, there are three types of chemical bond. One is ionic bond, second one is covalent bond, and the third one is hydrogen bond. This much in your syllabus, it's okay. This is also not in your syllabus, then also I have mentioned. But when you will go to class 10, you'll get one chapter, that is ionic and covalent bonding. So that time, the definition is class 10 syllabus. So hope so you have understood the atoms and molecules. Please see the atomic structure, that atom particles, this picture carefully, and try to draw this structure in your copy. In this slide, I am going to discuss about another interesting fact, that is noble gases or inert gases, I-N-E-R-T, inert gases or noble gases. Noble gases are colorless, odorless, tasteless, and non-flammable gases under standard conditions. That means they never react. They are inactive gases. In the periodic table, the noble gases are arranged according to their boiling point. Noble gases are widely used in different fields, from incandescent lighting to excimer lasers. Laser, some of you used to play with laser. Laser pen is there. And incandescent lighting, that means incandescent bulb. That is not this type of bulb, yellow color bulb. Yellow color light generally is to come out. So previous day actually we use this. Here also noble gases are used because they are inactive, inert gases. That is so no chemical reaction can occur over here. So one more word I have used over here, that is periodic table. What is this? I don't know whether you have an idea or not about periodic table. Periodic table is such a table that it's like your class arrangement. Suppose there are 43 students in your class. So how to sit, how to arrange your sitting arrangement, generally how to arrange your seat. Generally your class teacher will say or any other subject teacher will say. So according to them you will sit. And you have suppose class 8, class 9, there are different type of students. So like this periodic table actually is a sitting arrangement of all the elements, because there are near about 118 elements which has been discovered. So that's why for this huge element we have to arrange in sitting arrangement. So the scientist Mendeleev, he has arranged a periodic table for these elements. Periodic table also not in your syllabus, but I'll show you periodic table by a chart. But first, your homework, obviously whatever I have taught you today, you have to read this from your book and you have to learn this properly. One more thing, see that this picture, there are 7 inert gases. First one He, that is helium. Second one Ne, that is neon. Third one Ar, that is argon. Fourth one Kr, that is krypton. Next xenon, Xe. Next one is radon, Rn. And the last one is oganesson, Og. These are all case sensitive. Case sensitive means when you will write helium, you have to use capital letter for H and small letter for E. Okay? And don't miss the order. Whenever we take the names of noble gases, don't change the order. Like this only, you have to take the names of these noble gases. For any doubts or queries, please email me at sudeshna1.sma@outlook.com. We also welcome your responses by way of your views and feedback on PPTs or videos at feedback.stmichaelsacademy@gmail.com. You can share your doubts in Zoom classes also with me. Thank you students and have a nice day.